Yes, let's go, people. Let's go. So, Xbox had its developer direct last week. Did you watch it? Let me know your thoughts down below. Palworld, have you played it? It's absolutely selling bucket loads. Super popular. It's breaking the servers. All this. Oh, yes. And I'm going to be revealing a medical cure that I discovered but half an hour ago that I don't think anybody else knows for a common ailment. It's amazing. All this, not gaming related, but just came to me. All this and much more on the show, ladies and gentlemen. Here are the titles.
It's the Monday Game Chat with your host, Clive Illenden.
Yokoso, yokoso, yokoso. Arigato gozaimasu. Welcome, 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 of course, to the Monday Game Chat. I hope you're good. I hope you are well. And as ever, we shall be looking at the Developer Direct. Some nice, interesting reveals there from Xbox. And it's only January. Yeah, they're going to have more of these. They seem to like the format. Some big games to dive into, a couple of surprises, and I'll be interested to know your thoughts on it. Did you watch, as I said, did you watch the Developer Direct? Are there games there that are of interest to you? What do you think of the Indiana Jones reveal and all of that? And of course, let me know what games you've been playing in the chat down below, because obviously it's the Monday Game Chat. And it's, you know, we need the chat. I'll provide the game. You provide the chat. Life provides the Monday. That's how it works. Let's say hello to a few early birds there. Al Davis Music, how are you? Good to see you. Lovely to see you as ever in the chat. Sanchez, MTZ. Good to see you. Let's go indeed, sir. Let's go indeed. Anyway, so yes, the Developer Direct was on Thursday. And some interesting reveals there. I'm going to play this and hopefully no sound will come out. There's good. Yeah, so we had Avowed from Obsidian there. There was nothing in Avowed that blew me away. Now, I know it's very early, but it's got that weird, the NPCs, a bit like Starfield. I don't know, they sort of just feel a bit stiff. You know, I've played some games recently where the characters, the NPCs feel kind of natural and real. I'm not sure whether it's just to do with the animation, the acting, whatever. But anyway, let me know what you think. Are you looking forward to Avowed, which is one of the obviously the big reveals there? Is it your kind of game and all of that? Other games, of course. I love the way it was all put together there. From Ninja Theory, we've got Senua's Blade. Again, so here, I mean, obviously this is all about character, isn't it? Senua's Blade, it's all about the performance, all about the acting, but the characterization here is just, the modeling is insane. It's all in the performance as well, and the sound. Look at them, how they kind of do the sound to kind of in her head by picking up, sort of using mics on the side of the dummy head there, and then walking around. They're the voices in her head. It looks Senua's Saga, Hellblade 2, it looks amazing. I never got too far in Senua's, the first Senua, but I did love it. I mean, I just loved the look of it and the feel of it. I just found it a little bit disturbing. I don't know if it's the voices in the head or something, but it got to me a little bit. So then I obviously got distracted like a magpie. I got distracted by something else. But the animation in it, the characterization, just, you know, extraordinary. And then, of course, I love this, Square Enix. I love the way in the in the presentation, it had like incoming call from Square Enix, you know, as to sort of reveal, and then because this was obviously never on any of the posters. So Visions of Mana. I'm not familiar with this JRPG, but it's for all, but you know, about 30 years old or something. It's really old in terms of the IP. It's been around a long time. Again, this is Xbox's big fillip to kind of the Japanese market, as it were. It's got all those, it's classic JRPG with some great characters. And it was interesting that all the characters and monsters, all the sort of monsters in it, were all designed by the guy who designed the original monsters. And that's what he does. Imagine that job, just sketching out creatures and monsters for a JRPG. Let's have a dive into chat before we carry on. Sanchez has been playing on Palworld. See, I haven't dived in yet. Jonas reckons Avowed looks amazing. I'm hoping both Hellblade games come to GFN. Yeah, that's a good shout there. Crow, how are you? Good to see you. Crow Resin is in the house. So that was Visions of Mana. As I say, I'm not familiar with it. Were we expecting... There was lots of rumours around Square Enix and what they might be bringing. And it looks exclusive, which is a very interesting development, I think. But I'm not sure how familiar people are with Visions of Mana. Maybe I'm just ignorant to it. I am unfamiliar with the whole kind of Mana series, and yet it's been around for donkey's years as an IP. So maybe it's a sort of a Japanese thing, you know, that really massive in Japan. I don't know. What else was up here? Ara History Untold. So this is one of the sort of history simulation games developed by veterans of the genre to somehow have every element of that kind of civilization style gameplay that you come to expect. I'm not a big fan of these kind of games, but I know they're absolutely massive. I remember seeing people play civilization type games on their tablet when everybody, you know, you don't see it very often now, but I remember when I travelled a lot on the train, commuted a lot to work, everybody had like a little iPad and they were playing, you know, all these sort of mostly men, you know, execs on the way back from the office, grown men playing civilization type games on their iPads. You don't see many iPads out on the train anymore. Sort of, it's a toy for the kids. It's weird now, isn't it? Well, maybe that's just me. Maybe because I don't commute as much. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts down below. Yoshida's in the house. Good to see you. Secret of Mana on SNES was great. Good old times. You see, so it's obviously going to appeal to, you know, those gamers that had things like, you know, the SNES, and of which, you know, Mana was part of, those kind of real retro games. So it'll be interesting to see. And then, of course, the big reveal, Indiana Jones from Machine Gun Games. I'm liking the look of this. As I said, I want my sort of Tomb Raider style fix. I like the fact that it sort of firmly sits within the, let's say, the classic Indiana Jones era, which is sort of, you know, pre and post-war, World War II. Now, let me know your thoughts. What do we think about this being first person? But I like here it switches to third. So I like that. I think that's an interesting approach because I like playing games in first person. If I'm playing a PvP or something and it has a third person and a first person option, I prefer to play in first person. But equally, when I'm climbing and doing sort of stuff, then I quite like third person. So I like the sound of the fact that they seem to have made a creative design decision that you play you play some scenes you play first person and some scenes you play in third person. And you have a lot of these sort of cutaways in third person, obviously, so that you feel, it can tell the story. But equally in first person, it feels like you're in the story. Anyway, big news there, coming out sometime 2024. I really like the idea of, as I say, that whole mix. Cloudbusters wishes it was third. Steve Scholes is here. I love, like me, one being a mix of FPS and third person. I like that mix. And I like the game to make that choice for me as well, to a certain degree, if it works, if they make the right design decisions. So there we go. That was your no shadow drop like we had there. That was making a reference to the... There we go. Yeah, that was. There's no Square Enix one on there. But that was the Developer Direct 2024. I mean, hopefully it's the first of many Developer Directs. And some great titles coming there. And, I imagine these will be Game Pass titles. These are the first party titles. You don't go big on these games unless they're gonna be a major feature of your platform. So we can assume that, well, they say, don't they, that they're Game Pass. Who's asking about Senua's Blade? That's Visions of Mania. Was there a thing at the end? I'm trying to find it. No, it didn't say. I was looking for the date at the end there. But there we go. 2nd of May as well for that. May the 20th. Sorry, not 2nd of May. May the 21st. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know what you think of the Developer Direct. Did it float your boat and all of those things? I hope Todd hasn't overpromised. Oh, yes. Visions of Mana looks amazing. Very hype. Jonas Yerna is looking forward to that one. First person is more atmospheric because you can't see what's behind you. Yeah, it's slightly more creepy. But I think, for me, first person is the better option when it comes to fighting. Shooting and stuff like that. I find, yeah... because you're kind of looking at what you're shooting at, if you see what I mean. Whereas in third person, you're controlling the person who's looking in the right direction, or hopefully looking in the right direction, if that makes sense. But anyway, yeah. So overall, I thought it's pretty interesting Developer Direct. I mean, the great thing about it, in a way, is that there were no major surprises. Now, that sounds a bit odd to say that, but they kind of basically said, this is what you're getting. These are the games you're getting, other than the Square Enix, which was a surprise. So they didn't overpromise, and they didn't underdeliver. They said, we will be featuring this games and showing you some stuff from this games. And that's what we got. That's exactly what we got. They listed the games out beforehand. They were on the poster, as it were. And that's what we got, with the added surprise of Visions of Mana from Square Enix. So I quite like that. It sort of avoids that issue that we had. I remember, back in the Stadia days. Oh, Stadia days. When they announced, we're going to make an announcement or have a Stadia Connect. I mean, they never had enough of those. At the time, I wondered why, but of course now it all makes sense, really. But, whenever they did have a Stadia Connect, oh my God. When there was, nature loves a vacuum. Nature abhors a vacuum, sorry. So when there's not enough information, it's like a vacuum, and it just gets filled by speculation. And then when the presentation happens, the speculation goes into full on hype train mode. And then when the presentation doesn't meet the hype that everyone else has caused, everyone goes, oh, that was a load of rubbish. So it's always difficult with these presentations to sort of manage expectations so that people aren't disappointed. Because if you don't give enough information, people get on that hype train and go crazy. And then when they don't offer you the moon and the stick, you go, what a load of rubbish that is. Well, they never said they were going to offer you the moon and the stick. You just assumed you were going to get the moon and the stick. So you're disappointed yourself, you fool. It's that kind of thing, This way, they manage the expectations, and I thought they did it very well. You knew what was coming. You kind of got it. Added a nice little surprise with the Square Enix bit. Fair enough. Happy with that. But let me know, your thoughts. Anyway. In other news, before I get to... I just want to touch on this weird thing here. Let me know in the chat, before we go to this next bit, if you know who Billy Mitchell is in the world of gaming. If I just said, if you know who Billy Mitchell is, you might say, was that bloke off EastEnders if you're in the UK? No, I'm not talking Billy Mitchell off off EastEnders. That just came to me then. No, he's not a character from EastEnders on telly. Billy Mitchell in the world of gaming. If you know who Billy Mitchell is in the world of gaming, and I'm talking, in the age of gaming, retro gaming, let's just say, I'll give you a clue there. He was in the news. Crow Resin says he's a liar and a cheat. Interesting because you're on the right path, Crow. He's back in the news. So, Billy Mitchell, for those that don't know. Shall we go? Shall I give you more time? I told you, before we get to Billy Mitchell, I've had chronic hiccups all day. So much so, I was going to postpone the show because nobody wants to hear somebody hiccup all the time, right, on a live stream. So just before the show, about 20 minutes before the show, well, all evening I was thinking, I might have to cancel the show. Yeah? I can't do it with hiccups. But 20 minutes ago, and I tried everything. I tried drinking upside down. Have you ever tried drinking upside down where you just bend over, and then you drink out the bottom of a glass, sort of upside down? I tried that. I tried holding my breath. All of that. Didn't give myself a jump scare or anything like that. That might have cured. And then I came up with an idea that I've never seen before. I don't know why it came to me. And I tried it. I tried some deep breathing and all this kind of stuff. Didn't work. But then I came up with this weird idea. I tried it. And these hiccups that have been plaguing me all day disappeared just like that. And I've never known a proper cure for hiccups. But this thing worked. And I'll let you know a little bit later what it was. But anyway, back to Billy Mitchell. Because only Crow seems to have come in here. He's a liar and a cheat. Here he is. Billy Mitchell. Right? That's him. His haircut hasn't changed since the 80s. There's a clue for you. His haircut has not changed since the 1980s. But back in the 80s, I think there's a documentary, still might be on Netflix or something, all about this. But back in the 80s, he was like king of the arcades. Yeah? Not the two-time. Yeah, we're not talking the two-time. We're talking him. Had the highest score on Pac-Man, I think it was, and the highest score on Donkey Kong. But years later, there was a sort of, I think, another competition. And he went head-to-head with someone else. And then he sort of won it. But then he was accused of cheating. And so his scores were... taken away. He was disqualified. There we go. Donkey Kong champion, the King of Kong, a fistful of quarters. That's the one. That's the one, Crow. Anyway, it seems here Billy Mitchell's Donkey Kong historical records reinstated after multi-year dispute with Twin Galaxies. Twin Galaxies, I believe, was the arcade that put on this thing. Nearly 6 years after the dispute first began, Billy Mitchell's record Donkey Kong scores have been officially restored by Twin Galaxies, mostly. In a statement posted on its website, Twin Galaxy announced that all of Mitchell's scores have been reinstated as part of a historical database on its website. Twin Galaxies describes its historical database as a legacy snapshot, preserving performances prior to 2014, when the site came under new ownership. Mitchell had previously been banned and his scores removed in 2018 after accusations of using improper hardware. So basically, to get the Donkey Kong score nowadays, what you should, as I understand it, you need to be using the original Donkey Kong machines. So you can't use, machines that have been updated with new chips or current machines that just play the old Donkey Kong code. To get the proper win, I believe you have to use the real machines. And there was some dispute about the machine that he used having some updated up-to-date hardware in there, which therefore affected the score. So here it is. He'd been previously banned and his scores removed in 2018 after accusations of using improper hardware. He's still not listed on modern leaderboards and remains banned from Twin Galaxies. The restored scores include the 1,047,200 score shown in the documentary King of Kong, the 1,050,200 run referred to as the mortgage broker's score, and the 1,062,800 performance known as the Boomer's score. He was originally banned from Twin Galaxies after a forum poster presented evidence that he may have played on a MAM, a well-known arcade emulator, which, as I said, in violation of the rules. And so his score was expunged from the Guinness Book of World Records, but were restored in 2020 after eyewitness accounts, expert gameplay analysis, and hardware verification. And then there was a court battle, and it goes on. But there we go. As Crow Resin says, the King of Kong, a fistful of quarters. A great documentary. If you're interested in old arcade gaming, then definitely want to watch. They believed he was using an emulator. It was proven by how the screen loaded. His restored score now shows up in the archive, not in the main records page. So so there's still obviously some doubt over that because of it. But there we go. It rolls on. It rolls on. And keeps him in the sort of famous, doesn't it? Really. Now we go from the old, the vintage, to the new. Now, I've talked about it before. I've talked about it before, but I've got. I haven't got a MetaQuest 3. My son, right? I bought my son a MetaQuest 3, but I've really loved playing it. But I always remember the great thing about, the interesting about VR is that people were saying, could you develop a system in which you could walk? Now, obviously, you don't want to be, you don't want to walk. You want to walk on a travelator type thing, but then you want to change direction. And I remember a few people have tried it, and you sort of strap into a platform and you're walking on a kind of giant ball, but you're sort of strapped in so you don't fall over. And that sort of controls your movement forward as you walk, like a roller ball. Yeah, giant rollerball and all of that. But they were just terrible and hopeless. Anyway, it seems that Disney have come up with something that just might work. I hope you sort of understand what I'm saying in VR. But here, Disney research have come up with this floor. And you can walk on it. You see how he's walking, but not actually going anywhere. So if you're wearing a VR mask, it's like really kind of strange. So you can see it kind of being used here. But I can sort of see its, application. Depends how much is it just a mat on the floor? Or is there stuff under it? You have to be up on that stage. They're still walking tentatively. You can't be playing PUBG in, Fortnite in VR and running along on that by the way that they're sort of moving about. But it's certainly got movement, and it's certainly an interesting development. It's really weird how it works. Anyway, I just thought I'd share that with you, basically. Disney Imagineers cooked up the hollow tile floor so you can walk around in virtual spaces and it adapts to your movements. This guy reckons in 5 years, this floor combined with Apple Vision Pro, combined with GTA 7, will be the most insane gaming experience ever. When you can run and react and turn and move, that will be crazy. Oh, look, here's interesting. This Japanese guy is pretending he's running like he's in GTA. Is he going to drive like he's in GTA? If he's like anything like me, he's going to smash straight in the wall. Yeah, get out again. That's it. Yeah, get back in. Yeah, yeah. You look, he's running like he's in GTA. He can't go that way. He's reached the zone. Funny guy. Anyway, there we go. In other news, Palworld, which is going bonkers, has got a mod. People say it's copying Pokemon. Well, modders haven't wasted any time, and they put in Ash and everybody and actual real Pokemons into Palworld, which I thought was quite amusing. Pikachu there. I thought it was quite amusing. Let me know if you've played. I don't know, I haven't got the time to dive into it. It looks quite involving. Who was it who said they played it earlier? Sanchez. Yeah, it looks quite involving, and But yeah, the modders have been at work already, and they've already given it a Pokemon mod. Funny. This video is gonna get copyright. Okay, well, hopefully I don't get. Hopefully I don't get copyrighted. He also used a joystick that was taller. Back to Billy Mitchell. He also used a joystick that was taller than the original joystick. What a cheater. Hey, Ron, main event, Ron Slush is in the house. Change your handle. But yeah, what up, Palworld? Look at this. Palworld sales have hit 4 million and boasts the 5th highest concurrent Steam players ever. It's had a bigger launch than Cyberpunk 2077 and Elden Ring. And don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, it's available on Xbox Game Pass. So that's the mass appeal of the game. That it's 4 million in sales, the fifth highest concurrent Steam players ever, and on Palworld, I've just seen there Hampus Matson. Do you still eat Huel? Wait there. Yes, I do. Hampus Matson. It's now available in my local supermarket, and which is a Tesco, and they're doing a club card special, so it's still not cheap, but it's cheaper than it would normally be. So every time I pop in there now, I grab a few bottles for me and my son when we can't be bothered to have lunch. We can always grab a bottle of Huel, and then I know I'm sorted for my vitamins. Anyway, there we go. Back to Palworld. Yeah. So available Xbox Game Pass. It's selling 86,000 copies every hour. Palworld had a peak concurrent Steam player count of 1.29 million over the weekend. I'm missing out, ladies and gentlemen. Clearly, I'm missing out. Which is the fifth highest number in Steam record. It sits behind Dota 2, Lost Ark, Counter-Strike 2 and PUBG, but above the likes of Cyberpunk 2077, which had a sort of stumbled launch, Elden Ring, New World, Hogwarts Legacy, which of course in the UK was the biggest selling game, outselling Call of Duty, and Baldur's Gate. Yeah, it was in the top 10 most wanted wishlist game charts. However, this result has far exceeded expectations. Palworld's success comes despite server issues which caused Pocket Pair, the developer, to hold an emergent meeting with Epic Online Services, and the game continues to have some connectivity issues. It certainly seems to have captured people's imagination. Sanchez says, it is so fun. Palworld is so much fun. There you go. You heard it from Sanchez, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out to Sanchez. Hey, you know what? You know, it's... let me just close that. We're going to hit some... if we get... Yeah. I was going to put out some memberships out there, but we'll wait on that. We'll wait on that. Get some more viewers, and then I might do it. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, what's next up on the news? Now, let's talk about this. Let me know your thoughts, because I know this is a divisive thing. And I know where I sit on this. I'm very... So I'll be up front. So this is about owning your own games. We used to have this debate all the time with the Stadia crew, the Stadia community, and people who are anti, cloud gaming. And one of the things they're anti-cloud gaming is, I want my physical games. I want to own my games. You don't own your games, And the counter argument was, do you really own your games? Have you ever read the user license? You're just sort of licensing the use of the game. You never really own the game unless you buy it. And even then, modern games, even if you buy the game, you accept the EULA, the user and the end user license agreement. And in that, it basically says you're effectively licensing the game. So yeah, you might have bad example, but it just happens to be next to me. You might have Wii Big Beach Sports, but you're just licensing the game. I mean, that's probably a bad example, but certainly because I don't actually have any. Well, I do have some Xbox physical games. I think I've got the original Destiny game there. I've got a couple of Xbox games, physical games. But again, you know, it's like CDs. I used to have a massive CD collection. But I sold them all. I downloaded all the music, you know, onto a hard drive or whatever, and then put that in the cloud. And then I sold all my CDs. I don't regret that. My DVD, obviously, I studied film, university. I had a massive and eclectic, well, I would say DVD, but actually VHS, mostly VHS collection. And again, ended up selling all of that. Am I going to watch those films again? Nowadays, I can get most of the films. I can find them somewhere, either on, you know, Amazon, Netflix, or buy them from somewhere. Again, through the cloud. So this whole thing is this is an Ubisoft exec say gamers need to get comfortable not owning their games for subscriptions to take off. And this is in light of Ubisoft's new Ubisoft Plus Premium and Ubisoft Classic subscriptions. And they're going all in on their sort of subscription business model. An executive at Assassin's Creed maker Ubisoft has said gamers will need to get comfortable not owning their games before video game subscriptions truly take off, which is true. I personally am comfortable. I am comfortable with not owning my games. I'm comfortable, you know, with things like Netflix and stuff like that. There was a time when, I wanted, I want the Star Wars DVD collection and all of that. But I can watch Star Wars now on Disney Plus, if I wanted to. So, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I'm happy with just renting games as and when, as it were. I don't have a crystal ball, says the exec, but when you look at the different subscription services that are out there, we've had a rapid expansion over the last couple of years, but it's still relatively small compared to other models. Yeah, it is a model that has, without a doubt, taken over music. It is a model that has, without a doubt, taken over film and television. But it is not a model that's really taken a grip on the same level in gaming. And there's a great irony there. Gamers, hardcore gamers, like to think, they've got the latest, and it's often PC gamers as well. Yeah, they've got the latest graphics card, the latest state-of-the-art, CPU. They've upgraded, their computer to have all the latest things. And yet, they're quite traditional in that, we're going to own the games. I want to own the games. I want to download the games, have them on my, hard drive. I want to keep the games. And I always find that quite ironic. Here you are with your cutting-edge gaming rig, and yet your old-fashioned attitude towards ownership. There is, of course, a counter-argument that some conspiracy theorists, or sort of, not necessarily conspiracy theorists, but some people believe, in which, there is this sort of big corporate, it is a conspiracy theory, that somehow they don't want us to own anything. They don't want us to own anything. And maybe, do we have to own anything? We own stuff. And then, I grabbed that Wii Sports thing there. It was Wii Beach Sports. I grabbed that because it's in a pile of old DVDs, kids' DVDs, and a couple of CDs that I've got to take to the tip. Yeah? Or maybe take it to a charity shop. But I mean, I've got to get rid of it. I don't have to get rid of it, but I want to get rid of it. I don't use them anymore, so it's just clutter. If you've got kids, you buy kids' toys, and then what? Other than, Lego, which I keep, anything else, eventually, I've had a massive clear out of all my kids' toys. Now they're like, my kids are 14 and 19. And, a lot of it just ended up going to the tip. And I feel bad about it from an environmental point of view, but otherwise it just clutters up your house. Just my thoughts. Hey, have you seen the Last of Us Wii Sports meme? No, I haven't. I'll have to. I did see some guys recreate Mario Tennis with the sound effects. So they were playing it IRL as though they were, me's. I'm bobbing up and down like a me. Yeah, a me. And they had the yay, yay, as they were playing and filming themselves. I think it's mainly older gamers that own the games. I don't think younger people care. Exactly. I think Struggle Boxing, that's a good point. We're growing up with a generation that, they're like, well, most of them, my son just makes playlists. He loves to play to me in the car when I take him to school. Oh, my God. Bless him. Same as my daughter used to. I found some interesting music. My daughter now, though, interestingly enough, she's gone through her. She's gonna hate me if she hears me say this, but she's gone through a sort of weird emo, what I call a sort of emo phase, and she's come out the other end. And oddly enough, she's a massive K-pop fan, which is weird because she was really into some indie stuff. I went to see 21 Pilots with her, blown away. One of the best gigs I've seen. I accompanied her when she was like, 14. I had no problem going to see 21 Pilots. I had to accompany her to some other weird young sort of pop starlets, indie pop starlets. I felt a bit more odd, out of place there. But 21 Pilots was great. But anyway, she's gone through all of that, come out the other end, and she's a massive K-pop fan. And the thing about K-pop is that is about buying stuff. She bought 4 CDs for this band. They are all the same CD. So it's the same album, yeah? Except it's got different covers. And she doesn't have a CD player. Because the thing about K-pop is it's all about collectibles. Yeah, each one's got a different cover, of the, a band member from the K-pop band that she's into. So you end up buying the same album 4 times. So that, obviously 4 people in the band, in the group. Not really a band, are they? K-pop. But 4 girls in the same group. The same CD, 4 different times. It's got different stickers in it. Different booklet that comes with it. She doesn't have a CD player. I said to her, you don't have a CD player. And she goes, yeah, I know, but I don't, I can listen to it on Spotify. So she's only bought it because it's a collector's item. So there is that aspect of people who kind of like collecting things. I get that. But other than that sort of K-pop drive to buy the same CD 4 different times, the current generation are quite happy consuming their music or their content and not owning it, via subscription models. It's just maybe the old boomer gamers, millennial gamers, I'd say, and maybe Gen Xers, a few Gen Xers. I am a Gen Xer, but I'm down with the kids who are quite happy just consuming through subscription. But anyway, let me know your thoughts on that. Are you a person who believes in owning stuff? I mean, Karl Marx said, all property is theft. Yeah? All property is theft. Interesting to see. She struggle boxing, you knew, exactly. She comes back and they cost like 30 quid a pot or 20 quid a pot or something like that. It's been like 60, 80 quid on the same CD. I tell you, K-pop, we're in the wrong business. Good to see you, Struggle Boxing. Thank you. Looking well as usual, indeed. Much appreciated. Yeah. Right. So, yeah, let me know what you think about, as I say, some people I know are big into collecting things, and that's fine. That's fine. But for me, it's clutter. The older you get, the more clutter you collect because you're sort of reluctant to throw things out. Ask my partner. Oh, my God. Yeah, we've spent the last, I want to say 6 months, but it's longer, probably nearly 12 months, cleaning out my, gutting my garage, my conservatory, which just became a junk room. And it's all for the better now. The whole Maricondo, that's what we've done, a whole Maricondo blitz on the house. K-pop exclusive channel coming up, yeah. Oh my gosh. See, now, I'll tell you what, my daughter, she could do a whole kind of haul, a K-pop haul. Here's my K-pop haul. Every time, like when she came back, she's at university, when she came back for Christmas, didn't see much. Hey, darling, didn't see much of your dad, did you? Because you were out at HMV at every opportunity, buying up the K-pop selection. Anyway, there we go. Yeah, I'll start a K-pop channel. Bit creepy. Man of my age. Meanwhile, ladies and gentlemen, Starfield is about to get its biggest update yet. I've stopped playing Starfield now. I've sort of done it twice. What more do you want in life? There's a more interesting story I want to go to. This from Ubisoft. Very mysterious. It's a sort of a battle game with laser balls. Ubisoft are always searching for this sort of competitive arena type game, aren't they? So, Battlecore Arena, which I think was in development, or the idea, from years and years ago. But anyway, it seems to have come back into vogue here. And we've had the rollerblade one. They did that kind of, what was that? That PvP one set with skyscrapers that you bounded high, that they stopped after a while and failed. They love these sort of, they're trying to capture that arena game. There's another one as well they do. Yeah, somebody says, I'm fully ready to not play this game and watch it die before the year is out. Oh, look, sorry, you told us we don't own our game, so I'm not renting at your prices. Oh, very amusing, yeah. But anyway, so at the moment, you can only register to play the technical test on PC at the moment. But there we go. I play Starfield on GeForce Now. It's very impressive over the cloud. It is indeed. I'll check out Battlecore. Never heard of it. I actually really like the rollerblade game. That's interesting. If you look into the history of it, Struggle Boxing, I believe somebody was developing the concept a long time ago. Here's some more news. It's a PvP game with competitive modes, including backup, 3x3, 3v3 team deathmatch, golden core, in which possession of the eponymous core is the path to victory, free for all, fast paced, test your solo skills and warm up. I'm sure I read, though, there was something. Here it is, GameSpot. Ubisoft announces Battle Core, a free-to-play arenas. Again, they're really pushing this free-to-play arena games. Released back in 2017 by Cosmic Ray Studios, has just been announced. The game is now under development at Ubisoft Bordeaux, coming to PC via Steam. Maybe I'll get a job at Ubisoft Bordeaux. Bordeaux. Did I go to Bordeaux? What am I thinking of when I was in France last year? Maybe I did. I was going to live in France. And you can sign up for the tech test. If you're one of the people who played the original, great news. The original concept remains much untouched. In Battle Core Arena, you take control of a core, a sphere-shaped character, as you roll, bounce around in competitive play matches. The focus is on physics-based movement. Think of it as if you're controlling the ball from Rocket League, but without cars. Okay. So you're controlling the ball. Interesting. Originally developed by Cosmic Ray Studio and released in 2017. They've still got remnants of the original. It looks like they have. Some original 2019. Yeah, elements of the original game is still there on Steam by the looks of things. But now, anyway, it's been re-announced by Ubisoft. So, yeah, sign up, register for Battle Core Arena if that's your thing. Interesting. I just thought I'd share that with you because I thought it was quite interesting overall. Anyway, that's a quick roundup of this week's sort of Monday game chat news. Let me know what you think of all of that. And now I'm going to reveal, if you ever get hiccups, this is the cure. This is unbelievable. This is a world first. I've never seen this talked about. I hope I'm not going to die in my sleep because of what I did. But basically, I heard that if you yawn when you get, I don't know whether it's I'd heard it or muddling up with something else, but if you yawn when you've got hiccups, that's meant to kind of cure it. But then I thought, when you yawn, you open your mouth really really wide, so you're kind of like that, right? So I open my mouth really wide like that. And then I started breathing in. Breathe in the air because you're opening up your throat, whatever there. So open your mouth really wide, and then I took in deep breaths. And that cured it. If I'd known this before, because have you ever been in a house with somebody who's got hiccups and you're watching telly or something and they're sitting next to you and and it's so annoying. And when my kids get it, I'm like, okay, can you leave the room now, please? It's annoying me. Certain sounds just annoy me, and that's one of them. So when I've got it myself, I'm annoying myself. But now I know, yeah? Open your mouth as wide as you can and then suck in air. Hopefully, again, I'm not a doctor. If you die, don't come running to me. Boom, boom. But it cured it. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. I like to provide a service. I've never known that. I've never heard that before as a solution. But it worked for me. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. That is the Monday Game Chat. I rarely ever get hiccups. Haven't had them in years. I don't. I very rarely get them for some reason. And the annoying thing is they did not go away. I've had them all day until 20 minutes before this show. And then I just thought I'd try this thing. And what causes hiccup? It's like when you... Well, part of the reason I thought of the cure is it's something to do with like air coming in when you're sort of expelling air, if that makes sense. So you end up getting a bit of air trapped. Something like that anyway. There's sort of... It's like air. It's like a car it's like going down a one-way street the wrong way. Air is going down the wrong way and it goes down the wrong bit. Something like that. And then you sort of get this... and then you sort of get trapped in some sort of feedback loop that causes you to hiccup. That's how I think it works. And that's why I thought, well, maybe if I can recreate that scenario where my mouth is open so air is meant to be coming out, but at the same time breathe air in, and it might sort of clear the air bubble or pocket or whatever cause hiccups. Again, I'm not a medical professional. I don't know. It's just a theory I had. I tried it and it worked. So there we go. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this is a show about games. Not about what's all that? Just reading the chat there. This is all about gaming. So I hope you had an interesting show. I hope you enjoyed that. If also I played, just before we go, I played Prince of Persia, Lost Crown, or Lord Kensal did. So go and check out Lord Kensal, the video of his live stream. If you're curious about what my thoughts on Lord Kensal's thoughts on Prince of Persia, he enjoyed it. A classic platformer, done very well. Had a lot of fun playing it. Anyway, on that note, have a wonderful, wonderful week. Look out for the GeForce Now news on Thursday, and I'll see you all same time, same place next week. Thank you very much for attending the show live. Much appreciated. Au revoir. Arigatou gozaimasu. Jana.
Thanks for watching the Monday Game Chat with your host, Clive Illenden. Don't forget to hit the likes, subscribe, and consider becoming a member. Hit the join button today.